This is episode 80 of the Wilderness Locals podcast. On this episode, Wacedog and myself recap our 2021 seasons. Hopefully the audio is okay. We recorded this one on the road, so if it's not up to snuff, we're sorry. This podcast is brought to you by Kifaru International, the toughest hunting gear on the planet, bar none. Kifaru has lots of new stuff coming out, and they just released 2 new packs. You should go check them out. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by our friends at Just Shooting Arrows, BC's premier archery shop.
Pulled the well, got the plunger up, and got a catadine going, and I'm gonna
freezing your ass off.
Minus 35 this morning.
That's gross.
Yeah.
It's real gross.
What are you doing?
What do you do in that kind of cold? Like you just freeze?
Yeah, basically. We wear like in the oil patch, we wear like Arctic bibs, right? Like I have like minus 50 or 60 below bibs and a coat that's like minus 50 coat. What I usually wear on some days like this.
I assume you'd wear like denim overalls and like snow shirt full time, carrying an axe over your shoulder, like some Paul Bunyan type shit.
Yeah. Not quite.
No.
Not in this weather.
Oh, I've seen the photos your wife posted of you.
What's that?
Said I've seen the photos your wife posted of you.
Oh yeah.
Looking like a cowboy.
A lot of people don't know I wear suspenders, eh?
Yeah, I mean, well, since you're 67 years old, it makes perfect sense.
That's right.
Actually, your suspenders saved my bacon on our goat hunt.
Yeah.
We got up the mountain, my pants are falling out. I was like, shit, I forgot to put a belt on. You're like, well, lucky for you, I got some suspenders here. I was like, what?
I wear suspenders and a belt.
That's a great call.
But I have like 4 or 5 different pairs of suspenders that I wear with Sitka. Like I have 2 sets of Sitka suspenders. I have First Light suspenders, and then I have just like another set of suspenders I bought. I love suspenders. I've been stocking up on the suspenders lately.
But the First Light one that has that like tab that locks on to the loop, that's a pretty nice setup.
Mm-hmm. The First Light pant that them suspenders come with, I got the guide pant, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They don't last.
The pant?
Yeah, that merino wool stuff just falls apart, eh?
Yeah, I've heard that a few times. Guys normally leaves the crotch out of the merino pants. I don't know, man. Like after running the stuff that Barco sent me this season, I really have a hard time running anything else. Like he sent me, I'm bad. I don't remember the names of them, but like the one pair of pants that I ran the most this season, they look brand new and they're quiet and they dry super fast. I don't know. Like I have nothing bad to say about them.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. The merino pants, like they fall apart fast. Like my crotch the crotch just wears out of them. But I got my aunt to sew. I can't sew. I got my aunt to sew like a fabric patch inside. But they are they're a comfy pant. They're a super nice pant for hunting, but it's just they don't last.
Yeah, I think my favorite like non-hunting pant that I still wear hunting is those Prana Zions. They're like they're just like a nylon pant that are real stretchy, and they're really good. I mean, I've hunted in those a ton, but I'm a real big fan of that Sitka Apex pant. It's like they're kind of like wearing pajamas a little bit. I actually wore those on our goat hunt. They're not those aren't the most durable pants, but man, are they quiet.
Like that, them First Light pants are quiet, man. They're a really good stocking pants. I'm just texting Jared. He's like, you mean hunting or trapping wolves? I said, kind of, not really. I'm being lazy, just eating deer jerky.
He's a good dude, eh? Like Jared's, you know, when you make friends with people and you're friends, but you don't talk all the time. He's one of those friends that it's real nice to just you get random texts from him about stuff. It's rad. I like that.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's a good dude.
Super good dude. I know. I'm just like I'm hyped. I'm always hyped to hear from him. I just ordered a new bow from him.
Yeah, target bow.
Yeah, target bow. And I'm going to, I should say, kind of against your advice, but I'm going to try to keep the cast of the arrow off that bow the same as my hunting bow, so I don't fall out of the groove too much shooting it, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I learned that the hard way. You can't, it's too hard to shoot bows that are so far apart in speed because you end up just totally fucking your eyes, eh? Like, I can't do it. I have to, because I was shooting that border was like however many feet per second, like hauling ass, and then I would shoot the traditional style recurve, and it would take me a couple weeks to get my eyes back adjusted to that arrow cast and how my arrow dropped. And, it was a pain in the ass. Now I try to stay consistently, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy I've been helping this year, kind of get in. He's been hunting for a couple of years, but actually get him into killing stuff. I said that to him. He was jumping between a few guns and stuff like that, and I just said to him, I was like, look, you gotta just pick a setup and learn the cast of that arrow or the cast of that bullet, and that way, when the moment comes, you don't have to think about what gun you have and a bunch of the other crap, right? Like, it's like it needs to be second nature, you know?
Yeah, especially at recurves. Guys, compounds can hop around a lot more because they got sights, right? But it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's still, you know, even though guys have sights on a compound, it's still important to know the cast of that arrow and be able to, figure out that the space between pins, right? And like, especially now with like the popularity of the single and the double pin setups, it's like if your sight's set at 30 and you have one pin, you should hopefully know where that arrow is going to hit at 35, 30, 20, and 25, you know, like with that one pin, just by looking at it, right? Like,
do you know the greatest thing about minus 35? You can set your drink, you can set your bottle of water or bottle of whatever on top of the roof of your truck for 2 minutes, and then you have an ice cold drink.
Oh, that's nice. That's a real upside.
I think the Alberta guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to have a leak and see my piss freezing on the way out, you know?
Oh man, you should try to do number 2 when it's that cold outside.
No, thank you.
I don't think you've never truly lived until you've had to shit in 3 feet of snow and minus 35.
Yeah, that's a hard pass for me. That's too cold for me. Like way too cold.
I don't enjoy it, but it's like it kind of keeps things interesting, right?
Yeah, it comes with the territory, I guess, right?
We don't get a whole bunch of it. Like we'll get snaps of it, right? Like we'll get a week of this and then it'll go back to normal, right? Like just normal average minus 10 stuff. But
yeah, it's pretty mild here right now. I mean, it's 6 degrees. We're supposed to get snow the coming week, so 6 degrees Celsius for American folks. They probably just fell out of their chair when I said 6 degrees. But Yeah, 6 degrees Celsius. We're supposed to get snow next week, but it doesn't get cold where I live.
Yeah. I don't know. They keep talking about global warming, but I haven't seen none of it here yet.
You're like, the globe is not warm here.
No, fuck no.
Funny. So it's the last day of blacktail season here. It's December 15th, and then Muley closed on the 10th most places, and I think 5 more days of whitetail here, and then we're done. We're done over here for big game season. I mean, there's cats and stuff to kill, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
you
cool.
You guys are all done too, eh?
Yeah, lion season's open. Guys are chasing lions all over hell right now, but yeah, predators, lions is open, and that's it. But we'll fire back up in April for spring bear.
Yeah, too. I think I'm gonna hit bear pretty hard this year. I think
it's a great thing. Like a lot of guys don't take advantage of it. I don't know why. And a lot of guys, I don't know, they just don't, like, maybe just because it's a bear, but I think everybody should take advantage of it. It gets you out there. You get to do a hunt in the spring, which is wicked because you can't hunt anything else. I don't know. Yep. I think spring bear is wicked. It gets you out, gets you practiced up with shooting, stalking, gives you something to look forward to. Like, I could never go, like, from the end of November to freaking September without hunting. Like, I got to hunt something.
Yeah, I think guys like you and I, though, are in the bush anyways, even when seasons are closed, like I'm pretty well always packing around cameras and salts and all kinds of crap, just staying busy, There's always something to do. But yeah, maybe we should, I didn't think about this till just now, but maybe we should, chase some turkeys.
Well, I would certainly like to, but I don't know. Is there a lot of guys that go after them out there? Or?
I don't know. Like, I don't know any BC turkey guys. I think Kyle is into them, Kyle Southgate, but other than that, I'm not sure. So for guys in BC that are listening to this, let us know. Let us know about turkeys. I'm not a turkey guy, and quite honestly, they don't really blow my hair back, or lack of hair back, whatever. But I think it'd be fun. It'd be cool to go try to kill some turkeys with a stick bow.
You're fucking right. I want to try and eat one. I've never ate one. I was talking to Jake the other day. Jake Jones. He wants me to come to Nebraska for turkey. I guess there's freaking hundreds of them there, but.
They need to,
I don't know.
They need to import Wacedogs to kill turkeys.
Oh, they don't need me. But he said that I was telling him, like, Alberta, the last I heard, Alberta's like a 10 or 12, like, to draw a turkey.
What?
We have turkeys in southern Alberta, but I think it's like a 10 years to pull a tag or some damn thing. And I was looking at the applications, the history on it, and there was like so many people have applied for it. I was just like, it's pointless. I'll just go somewhere else and hunt a turkey, right?
Well, you can just come here and hunt it over the counter without even a host, right? Isn't that right? Isn't it? No game here with no host, right?
I think people want to keep that a big secret, because you don't need a host to go to BC to hunt turkey. It falls under your game bird license, right? It'd be like going to BC and fishing, right?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to be a citizen, though. You can't be American and come up here and shoot turkeys.
No, you have to be a Canadian resident.
Yeah, just a citizen. Yeah. Yeah, man. Maybe we should just do a quick 2021 recap. We're almost at the tail end of it here. I got 5 days, and I'll probably only get out once here, but. Was it everything you dreamed of and more?
No, far from it.
Yeah.
It's It never goes how I want it to go, ever.
Oh, man. Yeah, our season kind of got derailed. You had a good spring, though, right? Didn't you kill a bear in the spring? I can't remember.
Yeah, I shot a bear. Well, I shot a couple bears. And then, just an elk and whitetail. So it's an average. Like, I'm an average guy. Like, I do 4 or 5 animals a year, right? That's kind of average.
I don't think that's really average.
No.
I don't know. I know a lot of guys that are struggling to kill one animal a year, you know? At least in BC. Spring for me, I only spent a couple days in the field. All year this year, I kind of tried to cash time away for the fall because I knew we had a baby coming in the fall, and I have to ask real nice to sneak away with a newborn at home. But fall I didn't really do a ton, and then going into our mountain goat hunt, my wife, not to get too personal, but my wife had some complications with the baby, and baby's all cool and everything, but you and I were kind of on the fence about going even on the goat hunt, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We decided to let her rip, and we discovered that Wacey lives closer to the zone that we were hunting in than I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On the way up there.
Hold 2 seconds. Okay. I pulled up the Alberta turkey stuff.
Yeah.
So a priority 12, you can pull it.
Which means 12 years of entering.
Yeah. So there was 137 guys that got the tag as a 12, 3 guys that got the tag as a 13, 6 guys got the tag as a 14, 1 guy got it as 15, 2 guys got it as a priority 20, and 1 guy got it as a priority 22. So there's a guy in Alberta that had 22 years of priority to pull a turkey tag. So what year, I don't even know what year you would have started putting in on that. So out of that total,
2001.
So out of that total, there was 22,488 total applicants, and they took 150 people out of 22,000. That's my odds of pulling a fucking turkey in Alberta.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to.
No, it's all good. It's all good. You probably have quite a bit of priority for turkey stacked up, though, don't you?
Well, I quit putting in years ago because the point creep on it was too high, and I knew that I would never pull it. And I'm not willing to go 22 years to shoot a turkey. Like, I'll just fly to Nebraska and hunt with Jake, over the counter.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, or come here. I mean, old Chatty there's killed a few turkeys. We'll go. Maybe we'll try to repeat what we did. What we were planning on doing this past year, but yeah.
So there was 22,338 unsuccessful applicants. So if some kid today started putting in for that turkey draw, he would never pull that tag. There's 22,000 people ahead of them. They're only taking 150 tags. You do the math on point creep on that. It's man, it's crazy. I don't know. There's so many people putting in for stuff, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Do you get excited for turkeys, or you just want to kill one?
I just want to get one off the list. It doesn't crank my tractor.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I'd like to arrow one. I'd like to eat one. I'd like to check it out. I think the people that say hunting turkeys is like hunting elk are probably on LSD, but I will learn that for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to go get one with the bow. Yeah. The crazy thing about British Columbia is you can use a single projectile to hunt them. You guys they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you could use a 22 or a 17, a rimfire to shoot them things.
Can I use a 30 nozzler shooting a 230 grain burger?
You have to use a rimfire. I don't think it can be center fire.
Okay. I got a 17 HMR that would turn a turkey inside out.
Well, you could just shoot them in the head with a 17, probably.
Yeah, probably take that sucker right off.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't use
that could be fun.
there'd be turkey everywhere.
Well, that's how you make ground turkey. But then burrito. Yeah, well, maybe we'll have to do that. We'll look at it closer.
Do you want to hear the? Can I give you one more? Quick.
Dude, hit me with the facts.
This is Alberta mountain goat. They didn't take anybody last year, but this is 2019 data. So there was a total of 14,323 total applicants, and they took, and there was 14,320 unsuccessful. So out of 14,323 people, they took 3 people for Alberta mountain goat. 3.
Do you think people from BC should shut up?
So that gives your draw percentage was 0.02% chance to pull that tag. And it's not a priority tag, it's a lottery tag. So anybody can pay.
Yeah.
But I think it's only once it's done, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to piss people off by saying this, but a lot of people complain about the lottery limited entry system here in the province, and they wish it was priority. I think a lot of folks like that don't consider point creep. And the other thing people are maybe not considering is the opportunity that we have. Like, if you compare us to Alberta, Wyoming, Colorado, Montana, all of these places, like, look at mountain goats. Like you just said, a 0.02% chance of drawing. And, like, there's freaking 30 units that you can hunt goats for over the counter in BC. And the ones that are limited entry are, like, a pretty good draw, unless it's, like, a ridiculous zone,
Mm-hmm.
I think I think guys complaining is, I don't know, we have so much opportunity, I don't see how you could complain.
You guys have so much over-the-counter opportunity. You guys are lucky, man. Like,
oh, I know.
It's just putting the work in for a lot of it, right?
Yeah, we're booking a flight, going for a hike, right?
What were you saying before I cut you off on this rabbit trail?
We were talking, I was kind of starting to go through our year there, and I was saying we're kind of on the fence about the goat hunt, because there's some health stuff going on at home for me, and to let her rip. And we learned that you were closer to where we were hunting than I was.
Yep, Prince George. Shout out PG. Shout out. Prince George has a freaking massive homeless person problem. Or is that all of BC?
He's all of BC.
I don't even know if they're homeless. Over here. They probably have homes.
Yeah, I mean, the old GT there, JT gave him a house and big lot of cash,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Prince George.
We went on the goat hunt. What do you think? That was your first mountain trip in BC.
I like it. I want to go back. I want to go back and hunt goats with my rifle, and then I want to eat that goat. But I want to.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing goats next year.
No, I'll try and get into some caribou what we can.
Yeah. Yeah, try to cross that off the list while it's still an option, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your big takeaway from our goat hunt?
Nothing. It was kind of pretty much how I figured it was going to be. It wasn't that. I didn't even think it was that bad to get in there, to be honest with you. My style was acting up on the way up. That was kind of shitty, but I thought there'd be more. I thought there would be better water up high too, as high as we were.
Yeah. I think access is pretty good considering. I think, I mean, I thought there'd be more water too, but we had water, and then we hit some bad water that ultimately ended the trip, right?
Yeah.
It was a fun trip. One thing that kind of, having never been in that particular part of the province, was the absolute lack of game species outside of the stuff above tree line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see a whole bunch of game.
Dude, I don't think I saw a deer.
No, we didn't see a single deer. I didn't see nothing, man, until I got back into Alberta. Seen wolves in BC. Freaking mountain goats.
Yeah. I saw wolves and goats, that's it.
I don't know. Yeah, like it wasn't a pile of game. I don't know. I've never hunted BC like for anything else. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean there's spots, right? Yeah, I really enjoyed our goat hunt. I can't wait to get back after some goats here, and I think it'd be fun.
I'd like to go for goats again in August.
Yeah, early August, right?
I think that's the ticket. I know, like, Marvin goes in the snow, but he's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get up. I'd like to go again, and I would change. So I'm making some changes right now to that setup. Like, I'm going to go with a lighter tent. I'm changing out to a sleeping pad, big Agnes pad, and that's pretty much the only changes I wanted to make.
Have you talked on the podcast about your cot that you broke on night one?
No, I had is it a Thermarest?
Yeah.
It's the
one that Snyder and the same one that Snyder and Frank are running right now.
Are they using the one right now?
Yeah, but I mean, you also have 100 pounds on Frank.
Yeah, so like I'm within I'm not like 800 pounds, but like I'm within the weight specs of it or whatever, right? But it's I don't know what happened. Maybe when I was putting it together, I kind of scarred it on a rock or something. But the first night it ripped on me, which I've used it before and never had an issue. But that first night it just ripped on me, so I slept on the ground for the rest of the night, pretty much. Which is fine. I don't mind sleeping on the ground. But I took it back.
I did feel,
they're going to warranty it.
I did feel some envy coming across the GP from your side there with the inflatable sleeping pad and freaking lichen.
Freaking pads scare me, man. I've used them before. I hate them. I don't know. I just worried always about poking a hole in them, eh?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I run a patch kit with mine, and they survive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I want to try that pad you had, which is a big Agnes pad. What's it called?
Yeah.
Agnes?
I actually have two. I have a Q-Core SLX, but then I also have, and the pad that I honestly use more is one of their lower end ones. I think it's like $79. I can't remember what it's called. It's like I don't know. It's a little heavier, but it's just like a heavier material, and I don't know. I kind of feel like it's probably stronger. So I run that one. It has like a R value of 4.5. I ran it on winter mule deer hunts, and I ran it in the summer, and it's fine. Pretty good.
So I want to talk to Aaron. I want to get a slick bag. That fits my
times two.
Yeah, that fits my corpse. And I'm probably gonna try and get one of those, and then this pad, and then I'm switching tents. I wanted to get another tent anyway. I think there is a viable reason to run an earlier season tent, like a light 2-person or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think in retrospect we should have packed my backpacking tent in instead of the teepee, just for comfort, you know.
I like the teepee. It works good. I just don't know. Like, it's more, I think it's more based for, like, I would gear it more towards that end of September kind of hunting. So I can run the stove in it, right?
Yeah, totally. And I just think, like, we were pretty exposed where we were too. And, like, if we had hung out through that weather window, I think we would have had to move it.
Yeah. Yeah, hard to say. I don't know. I spent a week in the rain in that fucker before. It seemed to work pretty good, but the wind you're talking probably.
Yeah, I just mean wind, and then, like, where we had it pitched, we were kind of up on a knob. We sort of, I think we would have had to move it into one of them little valleys in there to kind of protect it and shelter it and get the water running off instead of in, you know.
You know, one of the questions that I get quite a bit, not a whole bunch, but I've had a few guys ask me about tents, and like, what tent should I get? I don't even know what to say to them, because from what I've found, like, over the years of doing this, is like, there's no one tent. I don't think. Yeah. Like, maybe you could run a backpack 2-person, but for me, I like to be comfortable. So if I was in the colder weather, I'd run a teepee with a stove, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to try and have a couple different options, couple different tents.
Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays a lot of guys are really stoked on the Hillebergs just because of the durability of them. You know, they're pretty bulletproof tents as long as you're using them inside their intended ranges, like the label system they have. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never had any issues running I'm running a big Agnes tent, and I've never had any issues with it. I don't know. Depends. I think a lot of it with shelters is like kind of field craft too, right? Like, if you pitch a teepee up where you shouldn't, it's not going to work. If you pitch a ultralight tent up where you shouldn't, it's going to blow down. It's like, I don't know. A lot of that stuff I think we take as common sense, but I think some people, just, you know, for some people anyways, it comes down to fieldcraft and maybe how much time they're spending in the bush, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely a right and a wrong, but I don't know. I was looking at the copper spur too, but I can't find them.
Yeah.
They're sold out. So
I think I actually have a second one, to be honest.
You have another copper spur?
Yeah, I have 2 big Agnes tents.
You should just donate me one.
Yeah, of course.
And I can be on your pro staff.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'll donate it to the Wacey's betterment of kids that can't read good. School, whatever. So after Mountain Goat, you got after, what did you do? September.
I went into Moose Camp with Mitch.
When is Mitch doing the podcast? When is that?
I haven't ever asked him. I probably could ask him.
He probably thinks you're an asshole. You have this podcast. You guys are good friends. You talk hunting all the time. Maybe he thinks you think he's uninteresting.
No, I don't know. I'll ask him. I don't know if he will. He might not. He's kind of like Mitch is like a very old-timey young guy. You know what I mean?
Like,
but he's just like the less is more for that guy. Like, the more he can be out in the wilderness, the better he likes it.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
So yeah, I could ask him. He what he says.
Yeah, because
yeah, but so
you guys went on a canoe moose trip, right?
Yeah, so before I got home from Goats, Mitch had drug in a canoe, or basically like a flat bottom 10-footer into a launch spot off this bank on this river. I'll not name the river so everybody knows where we were at. But so then when I got back, he's a good dude, man. He had my camp set up. He had everything ready to go. I just had to roll in. That's the best. as a side note, I owe him a lot for that because he even had firewood split and ready to go. Like he had everything done. So I just Mitch is married now.
All right.
But
I'm not trying to date him. I'm just saying.
But I just rolled in with my sexy cow calls, and we got in the boat, floated that. The first day, the thing with it is, with them bulls, right? Sometimes they're ways off, and if you hear a grunt, you're not real sure, right? Like, so we were floating down. We thought we heard a grunt, so we hiked in this old beaver dam off that river. Did some calling, never got anything to come in. Got back to the boat. Floated down, seen a bull elk. So when we come around the corner, so we're floating, but he's got a electric trolling motor on the back. So it's super quiet. So just to steer us out of them hard corners. And so we're floating down, and there's 2 cow elk swimming across the river in front of the boat, which they're open. Like I could shoot them with a bow or a gun at that time because that rifle opened September 17th. And so this bull, the sun was really just hammering down, and it was reflecting off that boat because I know I was watching that bull with my binos. There was a bull elk on the shore, and he had 5 or 6 more cows with him, and cows were trying to cross, and he took his antlers and he rooted that lead cow in the ass, and he pushed her back up the bank, and he looked back at us, so I know he could see us coming. I could have shot him with a rifle if I had a real rifle. I just had that lever gun, and so he took his cows and went back up, and we stopped there. We hiked up to a clearing, did his calling, set up, had lunch. Basically, awesome moose spot, like some of the best moose hunting I've freaking been a part of, like, and big bulls too. Like, this is pretty big bull country. And just couldn't get a bull to play. They would call, and we had some bulls answer and come in, but it was past legal light. So we couldn't, so we couldn't make it happen. We tried our guts out though, and we went hard every day. And, one day we called in a bull, and he was just down over this little ridge down in the swamp, and he was grunting and raking trees, and we slipped in. We had the wind right. As soon as we got within 50, 60 yards of him and called to him, not even aggressive, he just shot right up and turned and wheeled. So the bulls just weren't firing on all cylinders yet. And that's hard when you're trying to hunt the bulls with that over-the-counter tag, right?
When you start calling at a bull, and this is like a little bit of a loaded question because I've experienced this quite a bit with elk. When you start calling at a bull and he just completely shuts down and turns tail and runs, what do you think causes that?
Well, in that scenario there, I think the wind was swirling hard down there. So I think that's ultimately what got us there. But if a bull shuts up, sometimes maybe you're too aggressive. It's hard to say. I mean, sometimes they got to be a bull that wants to die. And if they don't want to die, you're not going to kill them. So, but then, we went back to that same spot the next day, and Mitch was like, "Oh, I know a spot overlooks a swamp, deadly spot." And this is heavy grizz country too, and I'm always sleeping. Right, any chance I could get, I go to sleep because I'm freaking an old man. Yeah. And
I don't know actually what's with my hunting partners, but between you, Ronnie, and Chatty, you guys are sleeping at least 50% of the time. Like, I don't know if I'm fucking boring or what, but
no, I do it everywhere. But we hike in. Mitch is above me. I don't ever set up. I don't like setting up together, just because of bears. I've had bears come in and stuff. And if you're together and you both get murked out, it's hard to help another guy if you're together. So Mitch set up above me about 20 yards, and I went down the side of this cow's face, and I set up just in front of these willows, and fresh bull sign, man. Willows raised, there's rut pits everywhere. And it was just hot. I'm like, so he starts calling, and I go to sleep as usual. And Mitch, good thing Mitch is keyed up and he's on point, and he yells at me. He's like, "Waste, big boar grizz." And so the grizz came in about 10 yards below my feet. And he had a big silverback on him, like big boar. He was coming to Mitch's calling is what he was doing. And I didn't have my gun. It was freaking 5 yards away from me because I slid down to try and get more comfortable for my nap. So Mitch, thank God, had his gun, and I can't remember if he hollered at that Grizz or that Grizz maybe caught a little wind, but he was 10 yards from me, and I was fast asleep. So if Mitch had dozed off too, I probably would have got her. And that boar moved off to the timber. So after that, I said to Mitch, I'm like, we better pull out because there's no moose coming with him in here. And it's crazy how them Grizz will go to moose calls, man. It blows my freaking mind. And they'll pinpoint it. They'll pinpoint it right to the exact spot. So after that, the rest of the trip, I was pretty awake. I wasn't sleeping too much, unless we were back at camp.
Yeah.
And then another bull we got into, we set up. Same thing. And it was, I think he was a big bull, like the way his pans were coming to the trees. And we ultimately had to make a decision. We were running out of light. We had maybe like 8-10 minutes of legal light left. And this bull's like grunting, but he's doing real loud. Like, never really heard a bull do it, but he was like, not barking, but he was just like, woo, woo. And he was coming, pissed off. So I said to Mitch, I'm like, let's move on him. So we moved in, and it was so noisy to walk in, and we got tight to him, and it's great as dark hit, and he just went quiet on us. So we were just pressed for time. So we got into some bulls. We just could never make it happen, you know. But there is some wicked bulls in that country, and I can't wait to get back to it.
That's wicked. Sounds like a fun trip. The old floating the river thing always has appealed to me, and yeah, it's cool, man. Real picturesque scene.
And then my sciatica was flaring up on that trip too. So I'm it started carrying packs, starting to really bother it quite a bit, but anymore.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be like getting the fucking pack goats here right away.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think that's a real good call.
Yeah, so then after that, freaking ripped home, went back to work, then shot a bull elk with the gun.
Yeah, I think we shot bulls a couple days apart, didn't we?
Yeah, maybe. And nothing real fancy with that story. Nothing real fancy with that story. I was just chasing some cows around on a cut line and shot them. And then, then just my freaking whitetail. So, and then some bears in the spring.
Yeah, and have we told the story of your whitetail on here? You killed a whitetail. It was sweet.
Yeah, so I was like, there was a lot of guys, like, so I was hunting this little piece of, like, it was public ground, and there was lots of pressure all around. This is rifle season, so I ran into a guy that morning. He didn't speak good English, and he's like, "Oh, are you hunting here?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, kind of." But so anyway, I decided to move off. That day was kind of a wash. So the next day, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting away from these people. I can't keep hunting around these guys, and everyone's just pounding roads and freaking." So I'm like, "Oh, I know this little beaver dam in between a couple bedding areas." So I pulled down. My wife bought me a new stand for my birthday. So you pulled that stand down. It was a Hawk. I'm really digging the Hawk stands nowadays, just for the seats. They're comfy, and they don't. The seats don't go bad from squirrels. That's a big problem I have. Squirrels always eat the foam out of my seats, so I end up with no seats on any of my stands. So I started using these Hawks, and so I got a Hawk stand. I threw it in my striker with 2 sets of sticks. Hiked into the beaver dam as quiet as I could. Set up in a tree where I thought would be the best. And yeah, man, started beating the horns and rattled in 3 different bucks and killed the last one that came in.
Nice.
It was good. And I turned him into jerky and pepperoni.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's killer.
I love whitetail.
Yeah,
I love whitetail jerky, man. It's freaking wicked.
Oh yeah, I turn the better part of the deer I kill into sausage and jerky, and do a couple roasts as well, and a couple steaks, and that's about it.
Okay.
Now it's hard to beat elk, though, eh?
I actually could care less. I wish that they would freaking. I hate elk. I've done it for so long. I'm just I like getting in and calling bulls stuff. You know, I know everyone loves elk. I could care less, honestly, anymore. I'm so over it. And I really focused in the last handful of years. I've been really focusing on bull moose, especially over-the-counter bull moose. So how it works in Alberta is that we do have some over-the-counter opportunities still for archery. I think it runs to September 23rd. So you can get a bull to come in, and you can kill them. Because otherwise you got to wait for your draw. And depending on the area, some areas you could pull a bull moose tag with a 3, or a 5 or 7, or there's some, I think there's even some southern bulls that are 10s and 12s. But for me, for me, I just want to try and take, and it blows my mind that nobody does this. There's a few guys I know that do this, but not many, but that nobody takes advantage of that over-the-counter moose. Everyone is so hung up on elk, which is fine. If they want to chase elk, but I want to try and kill big bulls on over-the-counter tags. And that's been my jam in the last few years, because I'm always just worried that they're going to take that away from us one day, like that over-the-counter moose. So I want to just stay after them, try and kill big bulls on over-the-counter tags. And this year I'm thinking about I'm ready to pull a draw if I want this year. So I might do that.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I didn't have I didn't have a ton of time to do stuff far from home this year, so I just I killed a full elk in the area that I normally hunt. I know really well, and we talked about it on the podcast. It came together pretty fast for me this year, just kind of a single day type deal. And then, I basically spent the rest of my season. Actually, in September, I did hunt mule deer a little bit with my stick bow. Did a couple days. That was kind of it. And then I sort of shifted my focus to getting into elk country, and I was dealing with the baby stuff at home there. And then after that, I kind of stuck on blacktail, and I spent pretty well all of October trying to kill 2 specific different bucks, and had a couple opportunities that were well outside bow range. And then I had opportunity at a buck that I would pretty happily kill with a gun. That was only a couple seconds long, and it didn't have time to squeeze one off. And then, I like early December here, I ended up arrowing blacktail, like we talked about on here too. And that's sort of been it. I've just kind of been hunting blacktail country here now, and today's the last day for that. So I'll be maybe looking at whitetail here before the 20th closes, and that'll be it for me. Yeah. So go on, Wace.
No, not much. I was just gonna say, I should be getting after wolves and get my fucking ass in gear, but I've been lazy, and I've been just in this cold weather. I've been hanging out with the wife and kids and eating deer jerky. So
that's your call, though. That's really
I'm just like, I don't know. I just get tired of chasing wolves and stuff. Like, I enjoy doing it, but it's so much work.
Yep.
Like, it's a lot of fucking work. And sometimes I just don't doing it anymore. I went pretty hard for a lot of years on predators when I was younger. So nowadays I kind of just, my kids are getting older and stuff, and my boys are in hockey and stuff. So I kind of like hanging around them doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, once the fall and winter hunting season kind of ends, I think it's good to have a little break and then get back after it here. I'm going to see about maybe chasing cats a bit, and doing some of the winter stuff this year a little bit. And then we are talking about a February goat hunt, but we'll see how that evolves here in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Well, I would if I were you with that goat shit, I would go. I would try and get your ass back there somehow, because you can't. Yeah, I can't. I hate like giving up like draw tags, especially like draw tags that are hard to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and after you and I were in there and saw so many goats, right? But yeah, that's to be determined. Should we put a pin in this thing then?
It don't matter. You got to go or what?
Yeah, I should roll.
Yeah, it's good. Sure. Paint it.
Right on.
There.
Cool. Paint it. So there's our 2021 recap.
Hopefully it comes out where we're not sitting in a fucking submarine.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at Wilderness Locals. If you want to support the podcast, please check out the gear, articles, and whatever else we're up to on the website at www.wildernesslocals.net.